Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Rebecca Adehill Show. I hope that you are having the most incredible start to your week. We are going to dive straight into today's episode. I want to share with you a very simple way for you to reach $84,000 months. Now, why 84,000? Well, 84,000 multiplied by 12 is $1 million business. And here is the thing, when it comes to running a $1 million company or reaching 20, 30, 50, 8,400K months, what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is that a lot of people think that they actually need to do more things. My approach is the opposite. If you want to get to 84K months, and we are just going to play on 84K because it's just a really exciting number. And once you hit that consistently inside of your business, your yearly revenue will be about $1 million. So it's a really fun number to play with. So if you want to hit consistent 84K months inside of your business, we need to simplify the way you are currently running your business. When I think back, the way I started my business, and I know if you are a regular listener, you know that I've carried on about this many times, but the reason for that is because it is so powerful. I really want this to land for you because genuinely it changed my business. It changed how I felt inside of my business, and also it allowed me to raise my 3 little kids at the same time. Now, I do want to highlight there is definitely a messy part in the growth phase of your business. And I'm not saying that you are not going to work hard, but this model really allowed me to only work 15 to 20 hours per week whilst being in postpartum, sleep deprived, breastfeeding, all of the things. And for me, when I think back of that time, I'm so glad that I ran my business in such a simple way. So the mistake that I'm seeing a lot of coaches actually make, number one, they have way too many offers. So if you are not at consistent 84 to 100K months at the moment, you probably have too many offers. When I started my business, I had one offer that then flowed on to a next. That's it. So if you have 3, 4, 5 different offerings and lead magnets and this and that, and you do a podcast and then you hang out on Instagram and then you do lives and then you got this offer and you got a low ticket offer and then you got a membership and then you got a group program and then you've got courses and masterminds and private and one-off sessions, like all of the things. Just stop. I'm not saying that you should not run your business like that, but if you want a really clean and easy path to $1 million, we are going to strip things back. So the first mistake I'm seeing is that you have way too many offers right now. And if you have way too many offers, that is going to blend down your messaging perhaps, and that will show up in a lack of conversion. So we want to make sure that your business model is super clean, super tight, and result driven at the same time. So stripping it all back and looking at one signature offer that solves a very specific problem. What is that for you? Another very common mistake that I'm seeing is that you let your emotions run the show. When you are feeling upbeat and motivated, it's really easy to be consistent online. Or when you've had a good night's sleep, it's really easy to be consistent. But how are you showing up on a bad day? How consistent are you when you are not feeling inspired, when you are not feeling motivated, when you are not excited? I think it's such an important piece to actually check in because at the end of the day, you are running a company. And if you currently let your emotions dictate the actions you take inside of your business, number one, that will fry your nervous system because you will only show up on your good days. And then when you feel bad, it's the whole cycle of getting back on track. And then you go full steam ahead when you have momentum and then you crash again. And that just can't be good. So we want to find a very neutral state for you to run your business. So really detaching from the emotions that you feel on a daily basis, because we all have them. But I think it's really important to create that separation, that you show up on your good days, you show up on your bad days, and you show up on every other day in between. Another very common mistake that I'm seeing that can actually stop you from getting consistent revenue coming in is your style of launching. So for instance, if you are only launching 3 to 4 times per year, that means that you only have very small windows of opportunities of income coming into your business. Now, if you run an online business, you should have sales coming into your business every single day. A standard that I have with myself and also my clients is $0 days. So the goal inside of your business is to generate sales every single day, or at least have the foundation that really allows for you to have sales coming into your business every single day. That should not happen once every 3 months or once in a blue moon, because the goal here is to start building on your monthly recurring revenue. So for instance, if you run a very short 8-week program and then you do launches 3 times a year, that is the only chunk of revenue that you are going to get into your business. And then if they finish after those 8 weeks, what happens after? So following on from that, because we want to make sure that you change your delivery model so you can have clients coming into your world every single day. But not only that, what happens after, say, you're running an 8-week program or a 12-week program? What happens after that point? Where can you take them to? What does that ascension model look like for you? Because here is the thing. Another incredible way and crucial way to build your monthly recurring revenue is to looking at your client churn rate. And what I'm seeing a lot of coaches make the mistake, their churn rate is extremely high, simply because they don't have the strategy or the positioning of their offers where they can actually drag out the client lifespan for instance, 9, 12, 18 months and beyond. I have clients that became my clients a couple of years ago and they are still inside of my world. And every single time I add a new client into my business, that then stacks my monthly recurring revenue. So you want to make sure after they have finished one specific program, where can you take them from that point? What is a flow-on offer in their evolution in terms of where can you support them and how can you continue to support their evolution? Number one, they are going to win because you can still support their growth and they are going to see, okay, I'm here right now. And after I finish this program, I can now go and advance into this space. So they are going to be able to evolve, but also that will help from a recurring revenue perspective for your business as well. Because here's the thing, if you don't have that, every single new month that comes around, you are going to feel like you are starting from scratch again. And that is exhausting. If you need to start from scratch every single month to go, oh, now I'm back at zero again. Now I'm back at zero again. And now you're going to start building again and building again and building again. Imagine coming into each new month of going, I just need a little bit more. I just need to keep stacking what I'm currently doing and have this beautiful flow of new clients coming into your world, blending that with your existing clients. And once they have had a beautiful transformation inside of one space, we can so beautifully guide them into a different space. This is how you create $1 million business. I know it's simple, but simplicity works again and again and again and again. So now I'm going to break it down to you in a very few strategic steps. It's up to you whether you implement them or not, but I reached $1 million with a click of a finger, it felt like, and it felt spacious. Now, when my company is at a complete different level, I am now able to experiment. I do a lot of experiments inside of my business. I still have the foundations of a really solid monthly recurring revenue. But what I'm doing on top of that is just an experiment. That is just fun. That is just, play money. But I know the foundation of my business is really solid. And every new person I invite into my world, that is just going to build to that recurring revenue. So the first thing I want you to look at is your model that you are currently operating under, is that set up to scale? Could you welcome 40 new people into your world today? If the answer is no, ask yourself, what do I need to change so that I have a model that allows me to scale? So looking at your delivery model, looking at how people are coming into your world, what does the deliverables actually look like? What does the transformation look like? Making sure can you handle 20, 30, 40, 50 people inside of one space? And if the answer is no, what needs to shift so that you can, with open arms, welcome volumes into your business every single day, new clients coming in every single day. So that is just a good starting point. And get curious versus like, no, I can't do it, I'm at capacity. Get curious. What needs to shift? What could you possibly tweak so that you can add in more clients every single day into your business? If you are only working one-on-one, you can only have so many one-on-ones until you need to shift your delivery model. So really looking at the scalability aspect of your business. The second thing is looking at your launch style. You want to make sure that the program, your signature program, and even the flow-on program, which you don't really necessarily promote on the front end, more of the signature program, and then you are letting the evolution of the client, they will then qualify for that second tier program. Now, here is the thing. You want to make sure that you are really looking at your launch style. So instead of having 3 launches per year where you have a beautiful cash injection coming into your business, but then you have nothing, I suggest that you are tweaking your launch model and also your delivery model so that you can welcome people into the same space every single day. It doesn't matter if you've had someone in that program for 2 months and someone new coming in or someone is 4 weeks in. What can you shift inside of that model so that you can welcome people into your world every single day? And here is something else I'm noticing with clients. They get a lot of anxiety around their launches. They don't like it. They feel pressured of getting people in to a certain program by a set date, and it just like adds pressure. And I'm like, can we just take out the pressure? Can we just start running a business that feels so expensive and good and in alignment with your personal preference? So if you don't like launching the way you are currently launching, open the doors and let people come in at any given moment. Yes, that means that you are in a quote unquote launch 24/7, 365. But what's so beautiful about that is that you are never saying no to a client. I don't offer that program yet. You need to wait another 6 months. You are actually leaving so much money on the table by saying, no, I don't have that program open right now, or you need to wait 4 months to come into it. What happens if you can welcome every single person into your world every single day? Wouldn't that be just so beautiful? So really looking at your launch style, and energetically, I would say 90% of the clients that I work with, they really love this style more than 90%. I'm going to say 99.9 because I still have not met one that don't love this approach, because simply it just takes all of the pressure off. And you really get to launch and communicate with your clients from such beautiful space of overflow. Another thing that I want you to look at is your retention strategies. So once you have built out your signature offer, what happens after that point? You really want to make sure that they can transition into a higher tier program. So for instance, if you have a 3-month program as your signature core program, then you can transition them after they have gone through that program and they have had a transformation or they've gotten some form of results inside of that space. The next flow-on program from that point, that could, for instance, be a 6-month program or a 12-month program. So all of a sudden, you have clients inside of your world from a minimum of 9 months all the way up to 18 months and beyond, simply because you have thought about how can one client come into a 3-month program, but how can I make them stay for 12 months plus? This is going to be a game changer when it comes to you hitting that 84K mark and really building on that monthly recurring revenue, looking at your retention strategies. Retention. It is so important because if your client churn rate is really high at the moment, if people come into one space and then they're done and you don't see them again, you need a lot of new people into your business every single day. And if you have a lot of volume coming in, that is great. But imagine having volume coming in and also really beautiful retention strategies on top of that as well. That is definitely the option that I would go with. And another aspect that's going to be absolutely crucial in order for you to now call people into the signature offer is looking at your messaging and your overall content strategy. You really want to make sure that you are tackling the 3 levels of marketing when it comes to attraction, nurture, and conversion marketing. And you can also do a combination of those 3 as well. We call that combination marketing. So here is the thing, what I'm actually seeing is that a lot of people are really good at speaking to people that already know them, and we are making the assumption that people know what we do, what we're about, what they can buy from us. I thought that my messaging was pretty on point, but I still have people every single week asking me, what do you do, Rebecca? Are you into crypto? I'm like, crypto? When do I ever speak about crypto? No, I'm not. But that just goes to show some of the people that are following my content every single day, they are still not 100% sure of what I do, which then tells me you can never assume that people know what you do, which means that you actually need to hit those 3 levels of marketing. So attraction marketing is really about getting new people, so a cold audience, getting their attention and then calling them in to your world. That is what we call attraction marketing. The second layer to that is nurture marketing. That is when we are building the authority, when we are incorporating storytelling, when we are really giving value and nurturing the people that are now following us. So that is ultimately the reason why they stay, is because they feel inspired about your content, they resonate with your content, or you are giving great value which they can benefit from. That is that nurture marketing. And then you have the third layer, which is conversion marketing, which is probably the one I recommend that you use the least, because when people scroll on social media, they don't necessarily want to be sold to when they are just scrolling on their phone, especially on your Instagram Reels. I very, very rarely, unless I do a call out for a very specific offer that I'm launching, I can do a call out if I'm looking for a specific person. Other than that, I actually don't sell my services on Reels. That all happens on Instagram stories. So there's a big difference there. But you want to make sure now that your messaging when it comes to attraction, nurture, and conversion really reflects your signature program, and speaking into the tangible outcome that they will get, that they desire. And you get to carry yourself with the assumption that you have 1,000 people, maybe more than 1,000 people right now, that are actively looking for the solution your signature offer provides. And it is your job to double down on that messaging and getting so clear by showcasing them that you have the solution your clients are actively looking for a solution for. This comes down to assumptions. And I know I've spoken about assumptions before, but if you don't believe that the algorithm is not your friend, or the same people are just liking your content, and there's not enough people, etc., you need to shift that assumption and you need to start creating content like you have people sitting right on the edge of their seat waiting to invest. How would you communicate with them? How would you show up online? What type of reels would you create with the knowing that people are so close moving into your world? How would you communicate with them? And also, I'm just going to go there because we're on the topic of messaging. If you are currently using pain point marketing, I want you to go and throw that in the bin and never, never, never repeat that process. If someone has taught you pain point marketing, lovingly return that knowledge to the person that taught you that and never repeat it ever again. And the reason for that, if you are anything like me, No doubt you like to make your potential clients or your clients to feel really good in the buying process. There is no need to put more salt in their wounds because they have already moved past the problem stage. They are in the solution mindset of actively looking for a solution. And when they are actively looking for a solution, they're not even sitting in the problem yet. So if you are currently speaking into their problems, they are not going to resonate because they've already moved past it. They are focusing on the outcome and the solution, and they are actively looking for someone to support them with that solution and outcome that they are currently looking for. So if you are currently using any form of pain point marketing, you are actually hitting the mark because the people that are thinking about investing in you, they're already one step ahead. So if you are speaking into the problems, you have lost them already. And if people are resonating with pain point marketing, I'm very curious to see how that feels to create content for you, how it feels when you are selling to them inside of your DMs or when you are on a phone conversation, telling them how broken they are and how much they need fixing and how you can come and save them. And then you will have a very dependent, anxiously attached client that most likely will get no result because they are still sitting in the energy of the problem, not the energy of the solution. And you want to target people that have already had their I am done moment, that are actively looking for the solution. When you are speaking in to their I am done moment and the solution that they are currently seeking, that whole sales process is going to feel so effortless and aligned because you are basically just building a relationship and guiding them to the solution that they are currently looking for. And elaborating on that even more so, when it comes to your actual sales process, do you have a set sales process? If the answer is no, I highly recommend that you have one. Do not wing your sales. Number one, you are not going to be able to handle the volume of leads coming in once we have nailed your messaging and your marketing. And you want to make sure that you have a process that drives conversion and getting so clear and specific on how you can best communicate with your clients so that conversion feels really easy and effortless. Now, here is the thing. I have a principle inside of my business that you get to sell the way you like to be sold to. So for me, for instance, I used to do sales calls. Now I don't do sales calls anymore. If someone asks me for a sales call, I say no. I said, you can send me a voice note on Instagram. I simply don't do them. That is just a personal preference. For instance, I've got a client inside of my 1% mastermind. She desires to move to more of a sales process inside of her Instagram DMs, but she has an 85 to 90% conversion rate when she does sales calls. So it's probably very wise of her to continue doing sales calls as she's strengthening her muscle of learning the process of selling inside of DMs, or perhaps doing a combination of the two. So I think it's really important to look at two things. What is your personal preference when it comes to selling and also being sold to? And second to that, looking at what works really well. What has worked really well? What did that whole flow actually look like? What did you say? What did they say back? When did you share the investment? How did you send the link? Like, what made them move into your world with so much ease? I have a very set process that I teach inside of all of my spaces, and they all have a phenomenal conversion rate because one, it is genuine. Two, it is very tailored to their own evolution and their preference in terms of what they are needing right now. And it feels like a beautiful combination. And also, I ensure that all of my clients have a deep understanding of sales psychology, which I won't go into too much detail today. And I can do an entire other episode on this because that plays a huge role when you have a deeper understanding of sales psychology and what part you need to play inside of a sales conversation so that you can really own your part and allowing for your potential client to make the move to then make the final call to come into your world. So having a process is absolutely essential. And if you feel awkward around, for instance, like having a script, if you do a sales call, when I used to do sales calls, did I have a script? 100%. And if people ever ask me, are you using a script? I'll be like, duh, of course I'm using a script. Of course I'm using a script. I want to make sure that I can really understand what you need from me. I don't want to miss a beat. I'm right here. I want to hear what you are needing right now and what space I can actually place you in based on what you are currently navigating. So absolutely, thank you for asking. Absolutely, I'm using a script. If you run a business, you should have a very set sales process. And if you are currently not converting at this speed or the conversion rate that you desire, I want you to get really curious and seeing what part do you play in your sales process if people are ghosting you, if people don't check out, or if they ghost you when you've said the investment, or if you just share all of the details, they never say anything. Like really start to go through some of the conversations that you have had with potential clients and see if you can start to see a pattern. And if I were to jump into your DM and have a look at some of those conversations, I will be able to spot it immediately. I see it with my clients all the time. Before I take them through this process, once they tweak and make a shift in their sales process, this actually shows up in a great conversion. And last but not least, once you have anchored in to this one signature program with a flow-on offer, nailing or adapting your launch style, looking at your messaging, your sales process, your retention strategies, the last part now is that I invite you to stay super focused and disciplined and committed to doing this one offer for 1 year. Do not get shiny object and start to look at other things and launching other things. See it right through. Do not stop. Once you have built the foundations for this, you press go. You need 2 programs. That is it. A signature program and a flow-on program from that point. That is it. And I even wrote down some potential numbers to actually show you how easy it is to reach these goals. If your first tier program, your signature program, is roughly about $1,000 per month, which is very standard for a group program that is roughly about 3 months, a signature program. If that is $1,000, and now remember we are reaching 84K months, you need 42 clients inside of program number 1. I have now based this of 60% is in the first program, 40% is on that second tier program. That second tier program only needs 28 clients at roughly $1,500 per month, which is a very standard evolution and progression from that signature or that core program. You have a core program at $1,000 roughly, and the second tier program is roughly $1,500 per month. You need 42 clients in your first program and 28 clients in your second tier program. That's it. That is $1 million business. Can we just take a moment for that? That's all you need. And I don't even talk about private mentoring. And I did do an example. I'm looking down at my sheet. I'm looking down at my paper now. I'm going to read this out to you as well. Say, for instance, you are feeling a bit excited to have 2 private clients, and I have put this on the lower side to pay you $5,000 per month. You're just going to have 2 of those. That's $10,000. That means you only need 37 clients in the first program and 25 clients in the second tier program. That equals $84,000 per month consistently. This means you don't have to stack or start from the beginning every single month. It just compounds. Your revenue will start to build and build and build and build and build. That is your $1 million business. Do not overcomplicate the way you are running your business. Simplify it, and you will reach $1 million within a matter of time. Commit to the path for at least a year. That is all it takes. and you will start to see the fruits of your labor and of your hard work and your commitment. And you will look back at this time and go, I'm so happy that I took Rebecca's advice and listened to this podcast episode, because I know if you stay true to this path, you will get there. If you want to be supported as you are stepping into this next level, because you are a loyal listener of this show, I want you to send me a DM on Instagram with the word ascension. DM me the word ascension, and I am going to share with you a very special little gift because you have come from the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I genuinely hope that you found this show and this episode really valuable. I'm excited to see the changes. And also, if you are already making some money inside of your business and you have multiple offers happening at the moment, it is okay to start over. It is okay to tweak and close down programs to then reposition yourself to go again. I promise you it's going to be worth it. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you here next week for another show.